Hopefully I will not sit here all day and critiquing my own images, but this is part 2, or I'm either going to have this by itself, or I'm just going to collaborate it with the one big mega video. I'm not sure yet, but this is my second part, and this is my minors part of my deck. And I chose Ansel Adams as Earth. Oh yeah, and by the way, I changed all the names of the suits to Earth, Air, Water, and Fire instead of the traditional suits, because I really work with the elements more than I do with the suits like Pentacles itself. So I got Earth. Yay! Now this is Dali, Salvador Dali piece, and I really like this as my, he's still in that same pose as the Two of Pentacles there. Oh my god. Isn't that awesome as my Two of Pentacles? Ugh, Salvador Dali. The bomb. Okay, and this is a boring art or architecture history reason why I chose this image as far as my focused as far as picking this image go. My boring reason for picking this image is because this is one of those castles or cathedrals in Spain that is unfinished, and it will remain unfinished for another 100 years. Boring architecture lecture 101, and that's why I picked this as my Three of Pentacles, because you got these guys planning and plotting out how they're gonna make this grand castle, and then I got here, they're making a grand, plotting and scheming, making this grand castle. I might change the imagery on this one too. I'm not really feeling the vibes of Four of Earth here, or Four of Pentacles here, even though I kind of think that it does get the message across, which is like the book hoarder or the hoarder across, or the, you know, you feel like you're hoarding, that you're physically hoarding yourself in, or you're withdrawing in, and that's kind of what I really like about this one. Of course, we gotta have a Waterhouse image in there somewhere. So I got John Waterhouse's image is the Five of Earth. I think, believe it or not, now that I'm thinking about it, Sacred Sea might have chose the same image for her Five of Earth. Wonderful, wonderful Six of Earth. I really love the hands. It's very simple and really nice. Now this one was a toughie because I originally picked out this center image right here with the guy trying to train the horse, but I feel the energy more, the Rider-Waite-Smith energy more for the Seven of Pentacles in this one, so I might keep only this one in and just have that as an extra card. So I might actually go with that one, so there you go. I really like both of them though. And this is my Eight of Pentacles, and it's a craftsman carving some wood and really cool doodad there. See that? Pretty cool there. And of course, my Nine of Earth. It's got to be a garden with everything already coming into bloom. It has the meaning there too, so there you go. So nerdy. I gotta choose Hobbiton as my Ten of Earth. Terrible, terrible, terrible. I got Hobbiton. And my court cards. This is another H.R. Geiger piece for the Page of Earth. Oh my god, I love this. It's one of my another one of my all-time favorite H.R. Geiger pieces. And I really have tried to keep the theme of my court suits the same. Like the I don't have the Knight of Earth or the Knight of Pentacles as an H.R. Geiger piece, but I try to stay cohesive with a certain theme with my quirk suits. And so there's my Page of Earth. This is my Knight of Earth. This is not an H.R. Geiger piece, and this is the only court one that I didn't have as an H.R. Geiger piece, but I really love him. I really love this guy. I love the image in the abstract photograph there. She really is a sexy Queen of Pentacles. Love her. And she's my Queen of Earth, and she's also H.R. Geiger. And I have 2 images for my King of Pentacles. I have the H.R. Geiger alien as my King of Earth, or I have this guy with the buildings in his head and kind of like that stone stable King of Earth. Here we got the wand suit, and I just try to stick to an element when I chose the aces, and that would have be really cool to see the aces as just the element. So there you go, my Ace of Wands. This is very, very cohesive, and this is also a Waterhouse piece. This is for my 2 of Wands. This is from the movie Fight Club, and this is 3 of Wands, and it works so damn well. Another Lord of the Rings art or piece is Rivendell for 4 of Wands, and I think it's very cohesive. I have this as 5 of Wands. Now that I'm looking at it side by side, I'm like not seeing 100% of the Rider-Waite images into some of my card meanings that I have, but I really do like how he's defeated in or he was fighting in battle and defeated in the 5 of Wands. I really liked this as the 6 of Wands or the 6 of Fire, because victory is not always a happy thing. It's kind of always, sometimes you're just riding home from war, kind of not always cheering in the streets and happy and victorious. But it's harmony all the same. This is a fantasy art. I don't know who did this fantasy art, but this one is a really kick-ass 7 of Wands. And you got this little guy here defending himself against this big scary guy over there. I have Cool Stag as the 8 of Wands. I liked this one the most when I was trying to pick the images. I was having a hard time finding something like that captures the same energy as the 8 of Wands here. Pardon my background noise. My neighbor's gonna mow his yard in the middle of the rain. And I have the Thinker as my 9 of Wands. 10 of Wands. I really like my dark energy of this banshee creature or this nymph creature carrying all of his burdens on himself. Oh, love it. My theme for my fire suits or my wand suits is the warriors. And so I got a Waterhouse painting right here as my Page of Fire. And then I got Ash from, what was it, The Evil Dead as my Page of Fire too. And I really think I'm going to keep her in versus Ash, unfortunately, because she is more, kind of has that more of that warrior vibe, and I kind of wanted a girl for pages, and I kind of just wanted to keep it very traditional, you know, like the woman is a page, and the man is knight. I just kind of want it traditional. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I was trying to keep it traditional, so I might keep her and just leave Ash behind. If anyone is a metal fan out there, you would really appreciate me using this guy as the Knight of Fire, and he's part of the album art, actually. You cannot not use Xena Warrior Princess as the Queen of Wands when you're talking about warrior energy. And awesome sauce! I got the Punisher as my King of Fire. I'm gonna have a hard time, this is gonna be one of those images that I'm gonna have a hard time enlarging for a bigger size deck. Quickly go through the water suits! And I got, of course, water is water. My Two of Cups. Forgot his name, but he does all these kind of art pieces. And I've noticed that Sacred Seed has a lot of his pieces too in her deck. But this one is Marc Chagall. And this is one of the Marc Chagall art pieces that I picked for this deck. I don't know. I think I like this one as the Two of Cups better than the Marc Chagall piece, even though I was trying to sneak some of my art fandom into my deck. And then I got Renoir as my Three of Cups. Four of Cups, I got another, this is a Munch, Edward Munch piece. Got a Van Gogh as my Five of Cups. What up? I actually, in a way, don't really enjoy this one for my Six of Cups, even though I did pick it out. Oh well. There's always a next time. Was a Salvador Dali as my Seven of Cups, and I think this one was really good for Rider-Waite Smith images because it's an illusion. This was one of those Salvador Dali piece where it's an illusion if she's looking at herself in the mirror that way, and there's people in the background and making it look like a reflection. So yeah, I love it. And this is Eight of Cups, and I really like that lonely traveler traveling up to that building. Ooh, awesome Eight of Cups! And this is my Nine of Cups, and you can get sexual happiness. This is my just Nine of Cups, I'm just gonna leave it at that. And of course, that wonderful Ten of Cups. I was trying to, for my court suits, for my cup suits, I was trying to keep a very watery theme. Like, this is another Waterhouse painting. Another Salvador Dali, and I really enjoy this as being the Knight of Cups. This one is another Waterhouse, but she works wonderfully as the Queen of Cups, and I think I've seen her several times as Queen of Cups in several decks. So, awesome! Another Edward Munch piece with the guy with his dingly out. Naked man. Alright, quickly get into the air suits or the sword suits, and we got the Ace of Swords, and that's really cool, Ace of Swords to me. I picked several images for the Two of Swords. I think, now that I've been looking at this deck, or been looking at it, that I think I'm going to keep this one as the Two of Swords. This was my original piece for Two of Swords, but I was missing that crossed-armed. Her arms were crossed with her blindfolded and things like that. So I thought this piece would have captured that pretty nicely, which it does. Don't get me wrong, it does. But that concentration, that balance of that yoga pose that they have here, that captures the meanings a little bit more for me. So I think I'm going to keep it to that one when I go ahead and pick for my deck. This one is the Three of Swords, and you can understand where that's the Three of Swords. I think even Elle used the same damn image for the Four of Swords, so I'm not going to linger too much on the Four of Swords, but there you go. Awesome Four of Swords. I got the guy from, what was it, the Assassin's Creed for the Five of Swords, and I think it captures the energy very, very well. Once again, for the Six of Swords, this was a very important card for me to pick for my deck. So I had a hard time trying to decide which card I should go with for the Six of Swords. But I really, really, really enjoyed this one. I think this was another Rivendell or another Lord of the Rings inspired art piece here. I think I'm going to end up going with this one for the Six of Swords. But this one was a very important card for me personally to have in the deck as what it should be. I really liked this guy in the... This is like a fantasy art, by the way. I think it's fantasy art from a video game, actually, but I really like him as the... I goofed everybody for a second. This also is the Seven of Swords, but I think I'm going to stick with him because he looks so much better than Obi-Wan Kenobi looking into the glass. I thought he was going to steal that globe, but I think I'm going to use the other guy more. This was like a fan art of some kind, so I don't know the artist behind this particular image of the Eight of Swords, but I really, really loved how this one really turned out. It's a really cool one. I really like her. This one is Escher piece. I really wanted an Escher piece in my deck, or my personal deck, but I didn't find too many Escher pieces with the file sizes and stuff like that, so that was another problem I had. But this was a wonderful Nine of Air. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful! Ten of Air. Wonderful. This is my Page of Air. I really liked the Royal Darks Tarot's pieces and the very powerful divine feminine pieces, even though they are these like porn star girls touching themselves kind of pieces. I really, really, really am attracted to the divine feminine, or the powerfulness, or the powerful women that he depicts in his decks. I will have the full size of the Royal Dark Tarot one of these days, but as of right now, wonderful. Love it. For the Knight of Swords, I completely went overboard and did not know who I wanted for my Knight of Swords. There could only be one. If you get the references already. I have the Nazgul as my Knight of Swords, and I think his energy works really, really well. And I think I'm going to keep him in there because of the King of Swords. But I just could not help myself but try to pick out the guy from Highlander as my Knight of Swords. I don't know if you could see this or not, but he's a little pixelated in this particular image, in the he could be only one image. But I really like how it turned out, though. Even though it's very pixelated, and it warned me, are you sure you want to use this image? It's going to be pixelated. I'm like, I want to just give it a try and see what it looks like. And oh my god, I'm glad I did, because I really love him. I almost love him the best, even though I have better images here and here, as far as the file sizes and things like that, and the clarity of the images. But there can't be only one Knight of Swords. I have to choose them all. I love them both, all three of them actually. I love, 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 love this as my Queen of Swords from Louis Royau's art, and because she has all these owls around her. And the Louis Royau's Dark Tarot, she's actually the moon card of this particular image. However, I really, really love her as the Queen of Swords. Look at that. She's holding a sword right here, and with the owls around her. So badass. So badass. And lastly, I have my King of Swords. And this concludes my personal deck. I don't know what I'm gonna do as far as my images goes. I'm just gonna have to probably just shuffle all together. Oh yeah, this is my backs, by the way. Probably gonna just shuffle them all together and just give it a go and see how it works out. But I am gonna have to go. My camera's gonna die, and that concludes my walkthrough video of my personal deck. Blessed be everybody. I love you all. Whoops. Bye.